There we go.
There we go. What? All right. About 37 dimensions, quantum. In today's digital landscape, where our personal and professional lives intertwine with technology, the quest for uncompromising data security grows ever more urgent. Hang on. Sorry, it started playing in the background when I was.
That's
I
okay.
gotta start again. All right, I gotta throw it over to you as soon as it's done. In today's digital landscape, where our personal and professional lives intertwine with technology, the quest for uncompromising data security grows ever more urgent. Imagine a world where sensitive information is shielded by encryption systems so advanced that it renders hacking nearly impossible. Researchers are inching closer to just that with groundbreaking approach that marries artificial intelligence and holographic technology. This innovation is not just a fleeting trend, it could very well change how we think about data protection. So what's going on with this, John?
Yeah, so this is cool. As you and I have talked about, like we need to get away from RSA AES encryption because they're vulnerable, and they're just going to get more and more vulnerable. So this is cool. This is merging holography with neural networks. So researchers led by Stelios, I'm not going to try pronouncing his last name, at the Institute Electronic Structure and Laser in Greece, what they've done is they've unveiled a groundbreaking optical encryption system. And like I said, it merges holography and neural networks, and it creates apparently a nearly unbreakable security. How it works is the system uses high power lasers, which pass through ethanol to generate chaotic light scattering, which encodes data into scrambled holograms. So traditional decryption methods fail here because the chaotic distortion it can't be reversed computationally, which is awesome. Kind of like that cloud flare, lava lamp kind of thing. So instead, for this, AI trained neural networks are mimicking the human's brain synaptic connections and learn to decode these patterns, which produce a unique decryption key only accessible to the system's owner. So again, it's a great encryption, but it all comes down to the owner as well. But still cool. So in tests, the system achieved 90 to 95% accuracy in reconstructing the encrypted images of handwritten digits, animals, and everyday objects. Now, you might think, why use ethanol? Well, ethanol as a nonlinear medium, what that ensures is a cost effective, rapid scrambling, adapting to chaos conditions like thermal turbulence. So, their future plans, what they're looking to do now that they've achieved this, obviously they still have to hone it in and work on it, but they're looking to integrate multi factor authentication and reduce reliance on expensive high power lasers to enable broader accessibility. So this is cool because again, it addresses critical needs in sectors like digital currencies, healthcare, secure communications, where essentially RSA and AES are becoming vulnerable. So it's cool because it leverages laser filamentation, where high power femtosecond lasers create self guided channels in air or liquid. And that chaotic process scrambles light into holograms, which is really cool. I don't know if you have a video of it, but I don't think we do. Um, yeah, so ethanol's nonlinear properties that enables rapid, low-cost distortion, which makes it ideal for real-world applications. So this isn't just in the lab, high like pie in the sky kind of stuff. This has potential. So, what do you think about this, Craig? Do you think this is where we're going to go next, or
Well, I think it's really cool. I still want to understand the costs related to something like this because it sounds really expensive. Um, so that it doesn't sound like the technology I can use to encrypt my hard drive on my laptop because it's just too expensive.
yes, yeah,
So,
that's true.
so the question becomes: Is this at a very high level? Are we going to get something that scales down at this level that doesn't involve ethanol and having some lasers and chemical and all this thing around to figure it out, or um Like that's really cool for high-end data centers that are cost for the US government and Google and whoever. But for the rest of us,
Well, that's a good point, but I think that because of where they're looking to go, so obviously the cost, the high power lasers are expensive and bulky, freaking lasers, and researchers are they're exploring cost effective alternatives like diode lasers. So if they can do diode lasers, that's a lot more cost effective and makes it a lot more attainable for people like you and I. Um, so a couple other things they're looking. So scalability. So current experiments are using small scale ethanol containers. So scaling to long distance atmospheric transmission, that's going to require further testing. So yeah, so you raise a good point, but I think they've already thought of that, and I think that they're trying to make this to become more mainstream, if that makes sense.
absolutely. And I look at this, the holographic technology forms three-dimension security layers that confuse and deter sophisticated cyber intrusion, and that the AI algorithms dynamically generate encryption keys, and combining these two introduces multi-factor encryption with overlapping security dimensions. So at the heart of just that, that technology should be available to the laptop people, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
Where we can actually now come up with a couple algorithms and say, hey, this is kind of the random algorithm that we get from this laser in ethanol magic. Now randomly create something similar to give me multiple layers of encryption to do this thing. Now, so we can probably at some point get AI to generate all of it, but the question is, will it be as good?
Well, yeah. And my question is, if they can train AI to encrypt, can AI not be trained to decrypt, or is it just too random for AI to decrypt? Right? Because like any encryption can be broken so far. But what do you think? Do you think that we could teach the AI or neural network to decrypt and hack this, or is that unhackable based on what we're reading so far?
You know, every new encryption thing's unhackable. Like we've talked about
Yeah.
this, and then every major company comes out with this new unhackable thing. We're encrypting this. Don't worry, we got your back. There's no way it's unhackable. And like 2 days later, it's hacked. So I want to keep that in mind, that this is still kind of not for public consumption. It's not out
No.
there that everyone can start testing against. Um, I don't know if this will be truly unhackable. I really like the concept, but
Yeah.
flipping it around, you can get AI, like you're saying, if you can get AI to build it, you can get AI to tear it apart. But I think it's the combination of some randomness related to building holograms and multi-level encryption in it that you're probably even hiding a lot of the encryption in the hologram art, whatever the
Yeah.
thing it is. So it takes a little bit more than what you think. And you have to have the right combination in the right order, in the right, that people wouldn't. I think it's going to be way more complicated, especially if you use different randomization techniques for each of those things. Okay, we have so many different layers of encryption, and each one of those encryption in this holographic thing. Let's just say we have 20 layers of encryption because we can do
Yeah.
anything. We have AI and compute power, and it's easy to do now.
Mhm.
So we have those, and it goes in and encrypts all that encryption in different layers inside this holographic image. It's going to be hard to decode that no matter what. Now, could
Yeah.
quantum decode it? I mean, it depends. Like, is quantum really tapping into the multiverse and doing more computing power that we've ever generated since the beginning of time in like 5 seconds and generating our answer? Or is it if it's always changing because it's based on the imagery of the laser interacting with the ethanol, then it's always changing. But if you're saying let's create an AI algorithm that do it. Yes, it would be hackable, but I just think it would be extremely hard.
Yeah, and it comes down to how random is random. Like if you test it out and you run it long enough, is it actually truly random, or will there patterns that will emerge, right?
Yeah, and we don't know yet, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's just in general though, like randomness. How random is randomness, right? I think there was a paper. I don't know if we covered it. I don't think so, but on there's nothing that's really random if you actually dive into and look at it in a big enough scale.
We talked about that actually at a large enough scale. There's nothing random. There's always patterns. They did this and it showed that the neural network could accurately retrieve the encoded images 90 to 95% of the time. So they haven't even got it down where they can, with the stuff, to unencrypt it themselves.
Yeah.
So it's a
it's a little. Again, it's new technology though, right? Like they're still learning it, they're still training it, all that sort of stuff. So
absolutely. It's funny that, you know, it's so secure that even with all the keys, you can't unlock it all the time. So, you know, this is very interesting. I'm not sure if this is going to be for everyone. Like, how do you encrypt? How do you decrypt? What is the CPU powered required to do all this?
Mm-hmm.
And does it happen at real time? So every time I have to access data, we're doing that in the network application layer or whatever, going back and forth, depending on where the encryption happens. I assume is at the application layer, but could be anything. How much the concept is great, but it sounds like you're going to take quantum level of computing power to do the encryption in the first place, just through all this stuff.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where this goes and how far it gets to actual commercialization.
Yeah, I love the concept of better encryption for everything, but you know, as we look to the future, one can't help but wonder what our world might look like when data breaches become a distant memory. With ongoing advancements in AI holographic technologies, we stand at a precipice of a new age in cybersecurity. Will adaptive encryption systems and two-factor authentications become the new standard for digital communication? While the timeline for widespread adoption is still a mystery, one thing is for certain: the intersection of AI and encryption technologies offers not just hope, but tantalizing glimpse into what future might hold for our digital security landscape and alternatively the hacking landscape. All right. Oh, this is one of your favorites.
Yeah. Oh, Christian von Koenigsegg. This guy he's a god among gods when it comes to innovation in the automotive world. So this is a little bit of mix of EV with ICE engine technology, just to give you guys. So anyone who doesn't know Koenigsegg is one of the most innovative car companies on the planet. Their cars in the millions. They've got their phenomenal cars, the fastest revving engine, like so many feats, and they've done the impossible with this. So their Lightspeed Tourbillon transmission is a 9-speed gearbox, which is designed for the Gamera hypercar, which is a 4-seater car, which is it's gorgeous. It is my, like, I get excited because I would love to own one, but who knows? Maybe one of these days. So it merges mechanical precision with cutting-edge innovation. So unlike traditional transmissions, and we'll short form it to LSTT, so I don't have to keep saying that, it eliminates the flywheel and the clutches, okay? So it allows it to wrap around the engine in a compact, kind of mid-mounted V8 configuration. So what this does, and you're like, oh, why do we care? Because it enables a seamless gear shift via its 3x3 compounded gears and 7 wet multi-disc clutches. Okay, so it achieves shifts in milliseconds, which is super fast. And I didn't do the research in comparing it to other things. But so in the Gamera, it's also got an EV motor, an e-motor, which is, by the way, it's Koenigsegg's proprietary e-motor. It is ridiculous for the size. So it's called a dark matter e-motor. This little motor produces 800 horsepower. Okay. And it handles reverse gear, replaces the starter motor. It simplifies the drivetrain, and it enables all-wheel drive torque vectoring with a single motor, which is a first in automotive history. Okay. This is phenomenal. This is cool tech, but less tech, but yeah, really cool. So by integrating the transmission around the engine, it reduces the weight by 150 kilograms compared to earlier designs. And it has this what's called ultimate power on demand, which allows drivers to jump multiple gears instantly for optimal acceleration. So the Gamera's hybrid powertrain combines this: a 1,500 horsepower twin turbo V8 and dark matter e-motor, which delivers 2,300 horsepower and 2,750 Newton meters of torque, making it the most powerful production car globally. What do you think, Craig? I'm excited about this, but what are your thoughts?
This is amazing vehicle. Amazing vehicle. It's amazing transmission, and we've talked about, and I'm Koenigsegg before. I'm not sure if I got that right. He's definitely the final boss in the supercar industry, and he continues to amaze it. The wraparound hugging transmission, that goes independently to every different wheel. So the car can be driven by just one wheel, if so desired. It's crazy, and it can be all electrical, it can be all gas, it can be both. The performance of this thing is amazing. It was inspired by watchmaking. The transmission integrates principles from high precision horology, ensuring the flawless mechanical synchronization. Definitely sounds German. Is Koenigsegg German?
No. You're gonna eat is,
or is he Swiss?
Swiss. Hold on.
All right, there you go. Swatchmaker. I don't know. The advanced engineering minimize friction, optimize efficiency. This is the high tech materials.
Swedish.
Overall. Swedish. There you go. The intricate design reflects meticulous craftsmanship. Like, this thing is amazing. It's a completely everything. He comes out with something new. Yeah. It's a completely rethink. It was last time it was the engine was upside down, and faced the other way so that things could happen. And now we've wrapped the transmission around the engine, which is completely different than anyone has done before. Yeah. Traditional gearboxes are becoming obsolete as multi-clutch technology enables faster, smoother transmissions. Automotive engineering and horology share a common ground in precision mechanics and intricate craftsmanship. It's amazing. I love this stuff. I'm not planning on getting one of these $4 million cars, but I would love to look at one. I don't know if I'd even want to drive in it. But this represents a paradigm shift in automotive engineering. Its innovative design marries precision watchmaking. We talked about the breakthrough technology paves the way for a new era in automotive performance, because once one person has done this type of thing, other companies will start to do it as well.
You know what? I don't think so. I'm gonna push back on that. I think it'll take them years before they catch up to Koenigsegg as far as their breakthroughs. This guy, he's either from the future. He's this, like, just the things that he comes up with in his head and the problems that he solves. Like this, what he created was thought to be impossible to create. So, like, I honestly don't know if other companies are going to build it themselves, or they will try to license his technology, because like this guy, like, so just to give you an idea of his the dark matter engine, right? So the dark matter engine combines I can't remember what it was now, but it's nuts, the stuff that he's come up with. So
yeah, there's 3 of whatever it is that's normal, and there's 2 of them, so it's 6 when there's normally only 2 or something. It's
yeah.
I can't remember. We talked about it so long ago.
Yeah, I can't remember now, but but that just goes to show. So he's not just innovating EV, he's innovating ICE. But the cool thing, so I know that I don't know if we covered the Chinese EV cars that were hopping and things like that, but this technology, so the hydraulic clutches in the rear cassettes, it allows for precise power distribution to each wheel. So that can enable maneuvers like driving on one wheel or optimizing traction in corners, which is really cool. But yeah, so I'm blown away again by the innovation that Christian von Koenigsegg and his team does. This is just phenomenal.
Indeed. So what are your final words on this one, John?
Oh, just keep going. I'm curious to see what he comes out with. Next, because this guy is just nonstop.
Let us know what you think about this new light-speed tourbillon transmission, and whether you think it's the best in the world, whether other people will catch up quickly or start thinking about out-of-the-box designs now that somebody has done what was considered impossible. Now other people will think, hey, maybe we don't have to apply the same rules to our standard transmission and we can do other things. I agree with John that it might not catch up. People won't catch up quickly because they put too much money in their technology. However, it doesn't mean other people won't. The transmission industry won't change as a result of this breakthrough.
The X everything up.
Indeed. I thought I did click on preview on that.
Do you want me to split?
Nope, I got it. Okay. Oh. I'm just finding the thing to share. Hang on. There it is.
There we go.
Now that I have that, welcome back to Silicon Scoop, where we dissect the latest and greatest in tech with all the insights you didn't know or you were missing. Today, we're diving into a project that could change the way we interact with our finances, our social lives, Elon Musk's ambitious endeavor, the X Everything app. So what's going on here, John?
Yeah, so formerly Twitter, so is X. They've partnered with Visa, so caveat there, to launch quote-unquote X Money. So it's a key component of its transformation into a quote-unquote everything app, which is inspired by China's WeChat. And I've used WeChat before. It's really cool. It's like a one-stop shop for everything. I don't know if you've ever used it. Have you ever used WeChat before?
Not really. I used it for chatting, but I didn't use it for anything else.
Yeah, it's got everything. It's got games in it. It's really cool. So the feature is set to debut this year, and it'll enable peer-to-peer payments, instant bank transfers via Visa Direct, in Canada, that's like Interact, guys, pretty much, and secure funding for X wallets. So the collaboration is marking the first step in Musk's kind of broader vision to integrate financial services, social media, and AI tools like Grok into a single platform. And obviously, he's initially targeting the US market. So essentially, they're saying X Money aims to compete with Apple Pay, Venmo, Cash App by leveraging Visa's infrastructure for real-time transactions. Again, guys, this is kind of like, because we don't have Venmo or Cash App, but we do have Interact here in Canada, so it's similar to that. So he's looking to emulate WeChat's success by offering diverse services like payments, content creation, messaging, and more within one ecosystem. So he has secured money transmitter licenses in 41 states. He still faces challenges in sort of more of a crowded market dominated by established players like Venmo, Cash App, and all that sort of stuff. Also, he's lost a lot of users. already. So I don't know if like maybe do you think this will bring back users that have left, or what do you think? Is this just going to be another option for people, or is this going to be the option? What do you think?
Well, he wants to be your bank. He's
Yeah.
wanted that for a long time. Among everything else, he's talked about this forever. So he wants you spending money in the app. That's why he's introduced things like if you're a premium customer, you can make money. If you're a lot of people interact with your tweets, they give you money at the end of the account and that kind of stuff. So there's a lot because they want you to have money in your Twitter account. Because if you have money in your Twitter account, then you'll spend money on Twitter. So now if you have money in your Twitter account and you can, do everything, Venmo, send money, get money, build people, buy stuff, and you have stuff on your Twitter account. And as a X account holder, you're making money just by interacting with people. It's like getting a percentage back on your credit card, for lack of a better. I think people will be attracted to it, especially social media savvy generation.
Yeah, but like, so why Visa? Why not try to integrate Doge into this since he's a big Doge or a cryptocurrency? Like, there's got to be something behind this that I'm not getting.
Well, one, there's big deal and big money, and two, crypto's still hard. It's not like people don't have crypto. Like people do, but it's a small percentage. What, 5-10% of the
Yeah, you're right.
population?
Yeah.
They don't. So trading it in the back, don't understand this and that, and it doesn't make sense. And like from right now, there are things moving forward, and as it gets more popular, and we can agree on what should be actually traded. The cost of dealing stuff in Bitcoin is too expensive. So what like just the cost of the transactions. So what crypto do you use? So you start with established companies, right? Like Visa, MasterCard, because if you say, hey, we're doing this thing and it's on crypto, people are like, well, what are you doing over there? Now, if they add crypto after they've added a couple of
Yeah.
things, people won't look at it twice. So I
True.
think this
Yeah.
is the way to go. Plus,
Yeah.
you want to target the bigger market. It's why hackers don't usually go after Macs, because 90% of the market is Microsoft. So,
But that's changed. So now there's a lot more.
there are,
There,
and that's
a lot
changed. So
more.
it happens. But that's my point, is that
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
you target where the market's at. It's why we don't get many games on Mac, for lack of a better word, because there's not many
It doesn't have
gamers on
the
the Mac
GPU.
that go the
Yeah, it
PC.
doesn't have the
Well,
GPU performance
we
either.
do now, but that's a whole other discussion.
Yeah. So just to give you guys some context here into the market, right, that I had found. So US digital payments market is projected to hit 20 billion by 2030. Apple Pay has 92% of mobile wallet share, and Google Pay is leading. X Money is trying to enter a saturated space where Venmo has 80 million users. The Cash App does 1.6 trillion in annual volume, and Zelle did $800 billion in 2024. Now, he's trying to go after or try to create something that WeChat, but he lacks a couple things because there's more competition than there is in China. Well, I guess now he has the government support because he got into some sort of payment system with X that was just announced the other day. So he probably has the government support, but yeah, there's still a lot of hurdles that he has to overcome, and there's a lot of competition already. So,
well, I guess if he's using Visa Direct for all these transfers and instant funding, then they can do a lot without, because it's like any business using these tools. Because they have to comply by all the compliance. So by default, you're not doing anything unusual. So we'll see how that goes. But the instant transfers, direct connect their debit cards, move money in between effortlessly sounds great. They want to compete with Apple Pay and Google Pay and all those, but with expanded functionality behind payments. include more than payments, offering entertainment features like XTV, financial services, X Money.
Yeah.
So we'll see. He first wanted to do this when he was with PayPal.
Yeah,
And
I remember.
they didn't want to move as fast as he did, and they focused on stuff, which is fine. PayPal seems to be doing okay. X plans, so they want to roll out this service later this year, making a potential game changer for everyone. We'll have to see how this is going to impact the industry and whether it'll put a dent on anything, or like, hey, there's Apple Pays here now, great. Some people use it and some people won't. Does it really make a difference?
I don't know. We'll have to see.
So let us know what you think. Are you going to be jumping on the bandwagon with Twitter, making money, paying people, using XTV, and having a digital wallet on X? Or are you thinking traditional banking is the way to go and will keep your money away from Elon Musk and the X app? Let us know. We'd love to hear your feedback. Imagine a world where quantum computers are constantly attacking your hardware, your software, trying to get at your data. But here comes our hero. The Swiss firm launches the world's first secure hardware against quantum thefts. So your laptop can now defend off those quantum attacks. I know that's not quite how it works, John, but what's going on here?
Yeah. And so I apologize, guys. There's going to be a lot of acronyms and different things like this. And we're not going to get into that just because of timing, but we can do a deep dive into this another time. But just to cover kind of high level. So there's this Swiss cybersecurity firm, Quantum Guard AG. And they've unveiled what they're claiming is the world's first hardware-based solution, which is specifically designed to protect against quantum computing threats. So they call the product the QG Vault. And which makes sense, Quantum Guard, and it integrates post-quantum cryptographic algorithms, or PQCs, with tamper-proof hardware to secure sensitive data and communications. And for those of you that might not follow us or things like that, we've covered PQCs in the past. The thing is that you can't really prove that it is it's tamper-proof, and it's going to be without it being actually tested in the real world and things like that. So, because there's no real quantum computer being used, there's lots of tests, but nothing's really commercial. So, unlike software-only solutions, this uses a quantum-resistant encryption key, which is stored in a physically isolated, secure enclave, which has been validated apparently by Switzerland's Federal Institute of Technology. And apparently it's been tested at CERN's Quantum Lab. So, and I say apparently because, well, it has been, but again, how far have those tests gone, right? So the way that it works, their architecture, it combines a lattice-based cryptography with a hybrid encryption, which allows backward compatibility with classical systems, while apparently future-proofing against quantum attacks. The device targets critical infrastructure sectors like finance, energy, and government, where data must remain secure for decades. Apparently there are early adopters already signed on board, including Swiss banks, the EU defense agencies, and they're looking to expand into global markets by 2024. Just for those geeks out there, if you want to get into the details, so it uses a NIST-approved Kyber and dilithium algorithm for key exchange and digital signatures, which are embedded in a dedicated secure element certified to common criteria EAL6+ standards. So the hardware-centric approach mitigates risks like side channel attacks and vulnerabilities in many software-based PQCs. A lot to digest in that. Craig, what do you think? You think this is real? Do you think this is going to work, or what are your thoughts on this?
Again, I wonder about the cost of it. It says it's going to be energy efficient, it's going to be secure, but it's based on, the deterioration of dilithium crystals. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, crystals
Are
of
we getting into
dilithium.
Star Trek
I
here?
know. Yeah, sorry. Every time I hear the word dilithium, I gotta slip in crystals.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like any of these things. They have to be tested. The Kyber dilithium are algorithms. So as we were talking previously on, holographic and AI images, I believe this will be able to be broken because it's all algorithm based. So if it's all algorithm based, then versus some actual random thing out in the world, then I don't believe it is unbreakable.
So let me ask you this: do you think do you think it will be broken without the use of quantum computer or quantum computing, or do you think, and with the use of AI, or what do you think?
Until it's out in the world, we don't know. We don't know what kind of leakage happens when there's a transaction. We don't know how many transactions it takes for those kind of patterns to occur, because they always occur. But so we don't know if it's going to take time or a quantum level computer to be able to go through all of this. But I honestly, like, all this stuff, I believe can be broken. So this is designed to be efficient on secure microcontrollers. It's designed for AI, blockchain, and IoT. The platform protects against quantum threats. So I guess it's supposed to be lightweight if it's supposed to be microcontrollers, AI, blockchain, Internet of Things.
Yeah.
So I guess we can start securing all those little devices we have everywhere. Yeah.
Like that. Those are the worst for security, if for those of you that don't know.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
They're creating a new category of $7.9 billion in the hardware market. So based on what they're expecting to happen here. So having hardware that can encryption that can just withstand future supercomputers. So they figure this industry is just going to be booming.
Well, there is a need for better encryption, right? So potentially this could be an option, but again, like you said, it's algorithm based. So who knows how long it'll last, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and we'll see. It may be able to break quantum, may be able to break current technology like RSA, elliptical curve, and all that kind of stuff that's used today. But when is this going to be adopted? And by the time it gets adopted, how far along will the adversaries be on encrypting this? So let me know what you people think. We'd love to hear back from you. Do you think this SEAL-SQ quantum hardware is going to be the way to go? And if we can put it in IoT devices, this is the type of thing that'll naturally slip into your MacBook or whatever other hardware you have to potentially encrypt the data on your phone, those types of things, so people can't get at it, other apps can't jump at it. So is this the future, something you all want to see and jump on, or do you think this is just another security smoke screen that people are testing in the lab, and once it gets out in the light of day, it'll be eaten alive by hackers? Let us know what you think. We'd love to hear back from you. So scientists have discovered a new type of magnetism. That's right, alter magnetism. It's named the top physics breakthrough of 2024. And John here's going to tell us all about it. What's going on, John?
Yeah, so this one was difficult for me to wrap my head around. So I apologize if I am not accurate or if I mess up, but let me try my best. So we're covering this. This is cool. Top physics breakthrough of 2024. So in 2024, researchers confirmed the existence of alter magnetism, which is essentially a third fundamental class of magnetism that bridges the gap between ferromagnetism and anti-ferromagnetism. So the discovery was named top year breakthrough by science and was experimentally validated using advanced techniques at facilities like the Swiss Light Source and Max 4 synchrotron. So altermagnets exhibit anti-parallel electron spins like antiferromagnets, but with a unique crystal symmetry twist. So that results in spin polarized currents and zero net magnetism. So the experiments themselves focused on these these manganese telluride, which have been long misclassified as an antiferromagnet. And what they did was they analyzed its electronic band structure and observed a splitting of spin states, which is a hallmark of altermagnetism. So using spin-resolved photoemission spectroscopy. So the breakthrough challenges the old binary view of magnetism and unlocks new possibilities, potentially for ultra-fast, energy-efficient technologies. Now, it goes beyond. So just to let everyone know, this isn't something new. It was first theorized in 2019, so relatively new, who noticed unexplained spin polarized currents in antiferromagnets, and then confirmed in 2024. So really interesting. So just for those of you that don't know, ferromagnets have a strong spin effect. Antiferromagnets have no net magnetism, which the altermagnets make them ideal for spintronics, where spin polarized currents can transmit data without magnetic interference. That's the key part here. So it could potentially accelerate memory devices by 1,000x.
So we're not.
It was a lot.
We're not going to get the microphones and making that no interference noise when your phone's about to ring and whatever.
Speakers, they don't make those anymore because they now they have them like they're protected now.
Yeah, it's better than it was. Let's just say that. I know there's places where they're still affected by it, but it's better than it was.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, this is
this is really high up there. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is really interesting. I don't understand everything related to this, but the altermagnetic materials offer a revolutionary spintronic potential, and this kind of starts blowing my mind when you start thinking about the magnets that are used in the dark motor engine we were just talking about. And the placement of those, you say, okay, well, what happens if we use this altermagnetic that helps with the spin cycle and all this? Will it be better performance, faster, better? I know Conan Zig's probably looking at this saying, how do I design my dark matter motor now?
Yeah. Well, yeah, here's the thing though. If we're talking about next gen technology, right? We talked about how altermagnets, zero net magnetization eliminates stray fields that plague ferromagnets. So this will enable ultra-dense memory arrays without crosstalk. So for example, a terahertz spintronic chip could process data 1,000 times faster than the current silicon-based tech. Additionally, their compatibility with superconductors opens doors for lossless power grids and quantum computing components. And I don't know if you know this, during my research, I kind of read that Intel and Samsung are already exploring altermagnetic materials for next-gen hardware. So hopefully we can add Koenigsegg to that list, but we'll see. But
yeah, and let's face it, like all memory is usually magnetic based of some sort. And as a result, having this will enable ultra fast computing devices, revolutionizing memory storage and technology. So it has an impact.
You can switch from a 1 to a 0, right?
Absolutely. That's why I'm pointing this out to people like, okay, great, what does that mean? Well, it means faster everything, faster phones, faster computers, faster all this stuff, because we're switching to potentially like you're saying, Samsung and those are already talking about putting these in their hard drives, but talking about memory and all that kind of stuff. When you can start using this theory to make things faster, we're starting to really lower power, faster, will really change, things as we go forward.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I really like. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No,
go ahead.
No, it's I'm exciting to see, like, we've already got companies who are experimenting with this. So I'm curious to see how quickly this gets implemented.
yeah, I want to see when are we going to see this in actual devices. So this is, I haven't seen anything on that yet, but they've been experimenting on this for a while now.
Yeah.
This first proposed in 2019, validated experimentally in 2024, particularly in data storage. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. The performance should. I'm really looking forward to this. I know people are experimenting with now. I'm hoping if they're experimenting now, we're 2 to 4 years away from that happening, I would assume.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah. Or 2 to 4 years before they get a prototype, I would say. Maybe, or maybe sooner.
Definitely maybe sooner. And as we talk about this, the implications of altermagnetism extend beyond just enhanced data storage. Unique properties could lead to breakthroughs in areas like quantum computing, nanotechnology, providing a treasure trove of research areas to explore, cutting edge devices that not only perform better, but also occupy less space and consume less energy. The future is increasingly within reach thanks to altermagnetism. So we must ask ourselves, how will altermagnetism influence the tech landscape of tomorrow? Will we see smarter, more efficient devices capable of transforming our everyday lives? Or will it just go past the wayside like many other hopeful performance increases that we see coming down the pipe, I guess? Let us know what you think in the comments below. All right, we got time for one more.
We do. We flew through a couple of those, which is good because there wasn't really, like, we covered it and yeah.
All right. Scientists are experimenting with 37 dimensions now and showing how strange quantum physics can be. What's happening with this one, John?
Yes. So Craig, you'll like this one a little bit because it does. They actually admit that it contradicts classical physics. So researchers conducted a groundbreaking experiment testing the Greenberger-Holm-Zillinger paradox, GHZ, not gigahertz, but GHZ, by creating photons that exist in 37 dimensions. A reference to quantum states, not spatial dimensions. Okay. So this setup challenged classical notions of local realism, which is the idea that objects have definite properties independent of observation. So using a fiber-based photonic processor, scientists manipulated light's wavelength and polarization to create a system where quantum correlations defy intuitive classical explanations. We're getting into the magic stuff. So the experiment demonstrated that quantum mechanics operates in ways that fundamentally contradict classical physics. So, for instance, the team observes that contradictions akin to 1 equals -1 in their measurements, highlighting the incompatibility of quantum theory with local realism. So the work pushes the boundaries of quantum weirdness and opens the door to high-dimensional quantum systems for advanced computing and communication technologies. So just the 37 dimensions is quantum states. So like polarization, wavelength, things like that, not other dimensions like spatial dimensions. So which allows researchers to encode vast information in photons, which is critical for quantum computing. The GHZ paradox, just for those of you that don't know, it was first theorized in 1989, and it exposes contradictions between quantum mechanics and classical physics. So this time the experiment scaled it to 37 states, which is the most extreme test to date. What do you think, Craig?
This is wild. The research team is specifically tackling the Greenberg-Holm-Zillinger paradox, a cornerstone of quantum theory, which you mentioned, that demonstrates how particles can exist in states that defy our conventional understanding of how objects behave. It's like trying to imagine a world where fast cars travel not down highways, but through invisible tunnels that connect to different realms of possibility. The 37-dimension experiment not only tests these extreme quantum scenarios, but push us to reconsider how we interpret the very nature of our existence. And once we go beyond the dimensions we're aware of, what is it? We have 5
What?
dimensions.
Oh, I don't know.
Width, height, depth.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I can't remember the number.
Time and space, like where your location is in space.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's all right or not, but whether those are different elements, but whether time is considered a dimension or whether that's just my Doctor Who coming out. So it comes with its own set of formidable challenges, this 37 dimension exercise. Imagine needing exceptional precision in measurements and grappling with the complexities of multidimensional mathematics while interpreting the nuances of quantum interactions. These hurdles could evoke moments of despair, but it's this very struggle that paves our way through to groundbreaking discoveries that might change the course of technology in fields like quantum computing and communications. As scientists peel back the layers of quantum reality, they not only enrich our understanding of the universe, but they also lay the groundwork of groundbreaking technology that could transform industries. Think of secure communication methods that leverage quantum entanglement, or quantum computers utilizing these multidimensional findings to operate at speeds we can barely imagine today, which some say have happened with the Willow chip.
Yeah.
What are you hoping for here?
Well, I'm just to kind of give some people some context here. So for those of you, like, we talk about qubits, right? In the past, and qubits are quantum bits, but so it has a 2D Hilbert space. Okay. A system with 37 quantum states that occupies a 37D Hilbert space, which represents possible configurations, not physical directions. So really interesting stuff here. The reason why I bring that up is because I think this experiment is the leap that we need to enable scalable quantum computing. I'm going to make that statement, but again, I'm not an expert.
Yeah, so just for the record, we live in 3 dimensions: height, width, and depth. And Einstein philosophized the 4th dimension was time.
Okay. There we go. Yeah, 5 sounded weird. But I didn't know for sure.
Yeah,
so.
well, that's time and space, and that's the TARDIS thing. Time.
Yeah, you're getting your Doctor Who in here now.
Yeah, I know.
I love Doctor Who. Don't get me wrong.
As we watch these fascinating developments unfold, consider this: how will our grasp of reality shift if we embrace dimensions beyond our traditional understanding? Which avenues of technology or philosophy do you think will emerge as a result? We'd love to hear your comments. Let us know your feedback. So what do you got going on, John?
Just working away, helping companies get government funding. If you reach out to me on LinkedIn, if you guys have any questions on non-dilutive funding. But how about what if companies need some coaching, startup coaching, or any kind of coaching for their business?
Well, head over to TorontoStarts.com. That's where almost everything is. Our other podcasts outside of Silicon Scoop, our Startup Talk, is now up to 5 episodes a week. So go check that out. It's all talking to different founders, different advice, different pieces of that. Go check out Startup Talk. It's Canada's startup podcast. Oh, and check out startupcoach.ca. If you want to book a discovery call and have a 15-20 minute chat with me, just let me know when you're booking it, what is specifically you're having trouble with or what you want to talk about. It gets my head in the game. And also check out startupdrinksto.com for our regular monthly events where people can pitch to the investors and the crowd and network. And it's always a great time.
Yeah.
And for non-dilutive funding, they should check you out on LinkedIn.
Yeah, find me on LinkedIn, John Irwin, JONIRWIN.
And thanks, everyone, for listening.
Thanks, everyone.